right, awesome. My cheesy music is working as usual, and welcome to another episode of On the Delo. And today we have a very special guest, Jeremy Scott Fitness, or just Jeremy Scott. Jeremy, he makes success mandatory. At least that's what it says on his website. But I know I've been working with Jeremy probably going on 7 years now, and I can attest to that for sure. Jeremy is a podcaster. He's a coach. He's got his own app, all sorts of cool shit that you can see on his website for sure. And I think most importantly, Jeremy is also a one-time loser in Sunday Metcon to the Delo. So
did you beat me once?
Once.
I'm sure you beat me more than that, right?
Maybe twice, but I didn't want to brag today. Okay. So anyway, so welcome, Jeremy. Thanks for coming.
I appreciate it. I love the intro music as well.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh my God, dude, you have like legit stuff here.
Dude, I have buttons for everything.
Yeah, that's actually pretty sweet.
Isn't that pretty cool? Thank you very much.
Bro, I need to get one of these.
Dude, they're definitely affordable for us little podcasters.
What does it run? What does a bar cost? $1,000?
Not even that. I want to
Really?
say the sevens maybe. Yeah, I'll give you the deets.
I mean, that's fancy, bro.
It's very fancy.
I feel like I would start like, can you swear on here?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I feel like I would be like fucking around way too much if I got one of those.
You probably would be. Your podcast would go from like an hour to 2 hours.
People would hate it, but that's awesome. Nice, dude.
Yeah, it's a nice little board. So, again, On the Delo is not sponsored by anybody because I don't have anybody willing to pay yet, but that's fine. But what it is it's something for me to bring in people that I find of interest, and I feel give added value to, the people that listen and to my clients and friends and everybody else. So, as we've been doing other business owners and other ways of life besides hospitality, I wanted to bring Jeremy in because he has a lot to offer in the business realm. And yes, Jeremy's, he's in very good shape. That's what he does for a living. That's, one of those things that that's not what we're here to talk about. I don't give a shit about diets. I don't give it, we can get into that later. Jeremy and I have been friends for a long time, and, we can do this again sometime. But what I want to get into today and what I want to talk about is building a business. And when Jeremy and, when I go and I train with him, we talk a lot of it is talking about the fact that our business is us at the end of the day. I mean, what's the name of your company again?
Jeremy Scott Fitness, pretty original.
Right. And what made you come up with that? Tell that story, because I do like that story.
I mean, honestly, I just didn't know what else to call it. I really had I was not thinking. But again, you're talking legitimately probably 15 years ago. So personal brand is not the thing that it is today. That's a term that now we use. And I was just like, well, I'll just call it my name. And I just figured that's the easiest thing to do. Now I look like a genius on the back end, obviously. But when you think about it, if you guys ever see the book, Jeb Blunt put it out, it's called People Buy You. And that's really the phrase. People do buy you. You can get insurance anywhere. You can buy real estate anywhere. You can do fitness anywhere. And I'm not saying I'm not different than the guy on the street, but apples to apples, a squat's a squat's a squat. As long as he's coaching it the right way, it's fine. I go, what you're buying is me. The way that I talk about it, the way I present it, and maybe you would adhere to the advice we give that goes beyond just squatting. So it's worked out the same, but definitely it's I had no master plan for sure.
But you have branded all of your stuff. I mean, I've got 3 of your shirts, and they're all JSF, Jeremy Scott Fitness. I mean, once you find something, you roll with it, and it's very I'm not wearing it today, but you see me with my bar restaurant insurance shirts. I mean, it's what I do.
Well, and that's the thing for people, if you're listening, hey, I want to build a business, I want to build a brand. You think about the biggest brands in the world, if it's a McDonald's or a Coca-Cola. These guys advertise every day. I don't think you can find a person anywhere who doesn't know who they are or what they do, yet they still advertise 24/7, 365. And to think that you're going to be successful in the marketplace and not do the same thing, you're losing yourself. Because, again, it doesn't matter how awesome you are. If nobody knows you and can find you, it's irrelevant.
Yeah, that's so true as well. And I was going to ask you, you had told me a funny story. I think you were at a seminar, you were at a photo shoot or something like that. But the guy had, I believe it was a guy who was saying, he was calling you by your name, Jeremy Scott Fitness, wouldn't call you Jeremy Scott.
Oh, dude. So the first, the first major, sponsorship I had, this company called Natrol still exists. It owns a bunch of subsidiaries. So like ProLab and MRI, and this is like where my sponsorship is through. And this guy who runs most of the development, his name was AC, and AC would always call me Jeremy Scott Fitness. He'd be like, Jeremy Scott Fitness is here. I go, and I know he knows that's not my name, but it just became like so synonymous with it. And it's when like something clicks when you start to hear that. It's like, wow, he identifies me with fitness, which at the end of the day, that's the goal. Just like with you, it's like, if I think of insurance, I just think of you. Now I know other people, but you're the first person on top of mind. And that's ultimately like what we've tried to do.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about I want to hear your pains and your heartaches and your perspective on when the business is you. Like, you're taking out the trash. I mean, obviously you have a few employees or this and that, but I mean, you're also the face of the business. I mean, if something happens to you, business is gone, right?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I would say like it could last like a month or two, maybe. Well, I always joke like, without me being the catalyst, like it folds like a lawn chair. It's too much. It's too centric around me. It's bought me all these awesome opportunities, but you're also committed to stuff where the biggest problem, like, again, we have like a cleaning person, a CPA, all these, but again, I'm going to take out the trash sometimes. Like I'm still going to do some manual stuff. You get all the benefits, but all the negativity comes towards you as well, where in my world, if they're not dealing with me, sometimes they're like, well, I just want to come when Jeremy's there. And it's too big now. The scale of what we can do is too grand. So they're not always going to get me. Just like with you, you're not going to be at every meeting and sign every single policy. It's just not a thing.
Yeah.
And that's probably the biggest issue we run into, where it's like, I say it to my wife, I'm like, basically I created this prison that we can never get out of. If you look at it that way. No, it's a blessing to us, but honestly, if we want to keep the community the way that it is, like I have to be around.
Well, and you've also, you've evolved over time, and obviously that comes with growth. That comes from, I mean, you and I both have the stories of drinking too much and, being able to eat all this crap and not feel good and still show up to work and do things. And now here we are at this point. But for somebody in fitness to evolve, it's way more important because especially if you're the face of the company, you look at somebody like me, I could be a fat old white guy and still sell insurance until I keel over in my chair. It's a little bit difficult for you because your business card is your body. Doesn't mean you have to be super huge or shredded all the time, but you got to live the part.
Yeah, for what I do, and at least like how I came up and how I started in our demographic in terms of like who buys our stuff on the internet, it's typically dudes who want to be super fit or look similar to me. And even the females, like there's a certain level of vanity, even if it is health driven. If you ran it differently and your name wasn't on it, you probably could be overweight and be behind the scenes. But because ours is so me focused, I lead from the front. Like it's just part of it. Luckily for me, like it's naturally just who I am.
Yeah.
Like God willing, I'll be shredded until I, fucking drop dead. Like that's what I like to do, and that's who I am. For a lot of people, there's a pain that comes with that, where you're attached to this image and you think that's the only reason people are with you or work with you, and partially true, partially not true. And like a buddy of mine, we just always joke, like, the older we get, the harder it's going to be. But the reality is the older we are, if you're fit, the more impressive it is in our world. And so you reach this whole different kind of demographic.
That's so true. That's probably why you're so impressed with me, because I'm so old and so fit now.
Well, I mean, to be like all jokes aside, like obviously there's young kids who come work for me, and this. I tell them, like, some of these dudes who come in here that are beating your ass could be your dad, and it is super impressive when you think of it that way, because when you're 25, 26, 27, you can drink booze, stay out till 3 a.m. and wake up and you're fine. When you're 40, 45, 50, it's a different game. So there's a certain level of dedication that each year goes by you have to put in to remain fit. So it's impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, but you're so right. The older you get, the more if you're into that sort of thing, the more you want to do it. And I think that's a good segue back to our younger lives and yours in particular. Are there, I don't want to say regrets, because I know you're not one of regrets. Are there things that you look back at going, God, I mean, you've had JSF for 12 years. Is that 2010?
This will be into year 13 on my own.
Yeah. Okay. On your own. And before that, you were doing stuff. So, I mean, are there things that you look back on like, God, if I would have just started JSF on my own earlier, or do you just kind of look at all that stuff as the building blocks of what it is now?
If I could pinpoint, like, if you're talking like monetary things, but it's like, if you know better, you do better. I didn't know. If I would have, got into email marketing a little bit even sooner than I did. No, I built a pretty massive list, and that's where we make money in a lot of what we do. But you could basically buy email lists like back then, and now that shit's illegal. When it was like, hey, I'll offer, and you can still kind of do it, but I would have done that more because you could probably buy leads for a couple pennies. Now, obviously, the market is saturated. And the other thing I remember, it's just a random, I wrote this article for Cut and Jacked on carb backloading, which is really popular at the time, that this guy Kiefer had put out. And I remember we got so many website visits, but I had no like lead gen. I had no capture. So I probably got 30,000 people to come to the site and just kind of shit the bed on bringing them into our queue. And maybe some of them I got back over time, but what people don't understand is like that numbers game of you getting all these kind of warm traffic to your site or to what you're doing, it's worth a lot of money. So if I would have known that, I would have had some stuff set up, but I was just a young idiot.
Well, and when you had first started, you didn't even know if your doors were going to stay open, because it wasn't like your first group session with like one person that showed up and he came home and told
and that's what I would tell anybody, like, don't start a business like me. Like I had like one basically corporate job, and I left like around like Thanksgiving time, and I had like this little month lag where, okay, I can get kind of stuff together. But the day I actually left work, I had no clients, and really no money and no clue what the hell I was doing. In the very first group session, and I say group in parentheses, 6 a.m., January the 3rd, I think was the Monday. And this guy's name, I'll never forget him. His name's Dan Stamos. He's still on our email list. He bought a homerun.com that was $19. And of that, I got $8.50. And he's the only fucking guy at my Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 a.m. group. And like, I would come home and Heather would be like, how was it? How many people did you have today? And I'd be like, 7. And I'm talking from 6 a.m. till noon, I had like 7 total people. And my rent at the time is probably $3,700 a month. And we'll do the math, dude. Like it's
that doesn't add up.
No, it's pretty rough.
So you learn from that, you build your database. Would you say most of your revenues now are through the online stuff that you do?
Yeah, I mean, like between us, like the things that make money now, like, really make no sense to me.
Yeah.
And they didn't even exist 5 years ago, let alone 10 years ago, just because it's a numbers game. So for perspective, for people who don't understand how like social media people make money, if you're selling to 0.5% of the people who like are in your queue, or like a 1%, well, if you have 300,000 people and you can sell to 1%, that's 3,000 purchases. And if you sell something for $10 a piece, it's 30 G's.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take a rocket scientist if you have one revenue stream. Now that's obviously hard to do because you have to be really fucking good. But yeah, I could train people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and there's no way I could match even like what one internet revenue stream does. And that's why, and I'll just go off with this, a lot of my friends who do this think I'm fucking crazy because they still like own a gym. Now we own the space, so it's a real estate investment and it's going to pay off like tenfold. But I like to do it. But like if you're talking about like, hey, for my business, monetary wise, training people is the absolute fucking worst use of my time for money. And I know that would shock a lot of people to hear that, but at this point it just is. But I like it. It keeps me normal, and I get something back from it, and it all kind of builds on itself.
And you get to pick and choose your clients.
Well, yeah, again, we have probably 150 people who are like group members, and people like you. Like everybody's cool.
Yeah,
like nobody sucks.
It's like you look forward to actually seeing those people because you'll have different conversations, perspectives.
And even the ones where it's like we might not meet in a different life. Like I might not be friends with them, but because we have this common bond of fitness, like on Sunday, you come and you work out with all these guys. Some of them may be friends with, some of them maybe not. Some of them are like 50-year-old women. Some of them are 23-year-old kids. It's just a nice kind of melting pot. And I get something from it that goes beyond just money.
Yeah, no, that's great. So back to the social media aspect of things, like when did you discover, or when did you, like, obviously you have other good people probably involved that have helped you with this, but like when was it that it clicked with you where you're like, shit, Instagram, Facebook groups, now TikTok, I mean, these things are the things. And like, what was it that, made you want to post on these things every day and just know that, was it the revenue that you saw coming in from certain things, or?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'd want to post on them every day. If I could not do it, it'd be great. Honestly, the two biggest things. One, I didn't know how, like back when we started, there was no other way. You could market, like go door to door, hand out stuff, which is terrible. And I thought to myself, well, if we can post on a Facebook group and have 100 people see it, I can't walk around and do that in a week. So
right, and you might not get shot.
Well, and like saying, or like throw my shit in the trash because
Yeah.
like, oh, I want to work with this dorky kid who's doing fitness. So that's the first thing. The second thing, we did a lot of campaigns early on where I would write so much content. And again, I don't know how to use grammar or punctuation, but people still read the stuff
Makes
I put
two
out.
of us, yeah.
But this is the best, dude. So we would have like these campaigns with companies like Reebok or Livestrong or bodybuilding.com where we would do kind of written work, or for apparel companies, if it is like an Under Armour or Nike or Reebok, they would pay us to post on like social media for like a certain amount of time.
Okay.
And as that started to kind of build, and I figured, well, here's my thesis. Technology is this one-way street. We're not going to go backwards to like newspaper and just do radio. That's not going to fucking happen. These people, if you watch somebody, they live on their phones. So all we're trying to do is provide as much value as we can, as often as we can, and then maybe we ask you to buy something if it comes in your wheelhouse over time.
Yeah.
But really what you're doing is you're buying real estate in people's brains over and over and over. And I figure these platforms are free for what it is. They're free for, you can do it all day. Why would you not? Like, what if you're running a business, what the fuck else are you doing with your time all day?
Yeah.
It baffles me that you wouldn't come on there and like, hey, if I can help 76 people, you're not going to talk to 76 people, but those 76 people know 76 other people. And it just kind of, you're planting seeds over and over and over again.
Yeah. And you would say for any small business or anybody running a business or trying to build their persona, why wouldn't you do that?
The amount of messages that we get from people who will say, hey, man, I've been reading your emails for 3 years. Now, I've sent out 3 emails a week minimum every week, and I've done that for the past basically 13 years.
Yeah.
So that means you've read like 500 emails, and now you're going to buy something for $58.
Right.
And same thing with social media. People might watch, we post every day on Instagram, every day on these platforms. Hey, man, I just picked up the app. First of all, the trial's a fucking $1.
Yeah.
So you've watched me work out 800 times to invest $1. The game has changed from what it used to be to what it is now. Someone doesn't see something twice and then purchase. They might see something 28 times before they purchase.
Yeah.
And so you're competing with, the beauty is you can sell to anybody, anywhere, but the problem is you're competing with everybody. Everywhere.
Right. Well, and for you, you just put out your app. So tell them a little bit about your app and why you decided to go that route and why other businesses might or might not benefit from, having an app.
For me, I'd rather do online fitness the way that we were doing it, if I'm being completely transparent. However, my opinion doesn't matter.
Right.
Like the market is going to decide. And if you look at what people do, people live on apps, dude. Everything you do, how you check into your airline flights, how you get into football games, restaurants, open table, all the bullshit. And I go, okay, well, if my thesis is we're only going down this rabbit hole, at some point, how I'm doing it, even though I feel it's better in terms of deliverable and coachability, it's going to get phased out. I'm going to be a dinosaur.
Yeah.
So I either can like bitch about it, or I can just kind of join the club and just, is there a lot of people with apps? For sure. Well, I'll just fucking do it better. That's it. And I'm betting on myself that we can deliver something that's so, basically undervalued. So we're going to deliver, it's worth 10x what you're going to pay for it. And I can do so many numbers, it doesn't matter if the price point's lower.
Right.
And if we can reach more people that way, I think overall we're doing what we're supposed to do, is actually help people, and it will grow from there.
Well, and you're putting just above quality material out there and so much stuff for the amount that they get. And it's like you said, it's that one place that they can go to. They're not being distracted by Instagram at the time, like, oh, there's Jeremy stuff, and then 4 other things come through.
Oh yeah, like if you wanted, and again, this is not just me saying this, like I believe it, like you can compare it to anything else that's out there. Like we solved the problem for people, and almost anybody. Now, if you're 800 pounds, no. If you're going to do a specific type of training, like you want to be the best skier, no, that's not what we do. But for almost everybody else, like we've solved it where it doesn't cost you hardly any money. You can buy it like a whole year for like $100, whatever it is. So it's like one dinner out, and you can ask us questions, and I answer every fucking question.
Yeah, wow.
Nobody does that.
That's crazy.
And that's kind of the big thing where, so if you're listening out there and you guys have this way to scale kind of what you do and deliver to people, it's just a numbers game.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about financial savviness, because is that something that's always been ingrained in you because you came from basically nothing and just had to scrounge? Or, I mean, because now you're running a business and you're not, I would never describe you as cheap, because you're not cheap. You're just smart.
Well, yeah, when you're broke, it's easy because you don't have any money. People is like, is fasting hard? I'm like, well, you just don't eat. So it's really you don't have to do anything. Like, it's, well, being broke, you don't have any money. What am I supposed to do? So, I guess my dad was just very frugal with the things that he would do. And kind of the principles we grew up with was like, hey, man, if you don't have money, you can't buy it. Like, he was not on this credit card. This is really basic fucking concept, right? Like, he could give me a credit card and he's like, you can put gas in your vehicle for this, but then you pay it every month. You're not paying interest for something. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
And, from the outside, I just don't care about the material things like most other people do. Not that I don't like nice stuff, but I could go buy $100,000 car today in cash, but like, I don't fucking need it. I don't give a shit. And it doesn't do anything for me. Now, I'm not judging somebody who does. It's just not my thing. And most of what I do now, at least when I started, it was out of necessity. I had to do it. I had no money. I had nothing. And I wanted to not be under the rule of like, hey, the bank owns me or the landlord owns me. I wanted to be able to own my own shit and dictate what I do. So work with the people I want to work with, work when I want to work, and do the stuff I want. And if you're not financially independent, you can't do that.
Right.
You're going to make different business decisions when you're under the gun. Or if I had a $5,000 a month house payment, well, shit, now I got to sign this person. And I'm going to have to say yes to things and do things I don't want to do. So if anything, like, the money is bought it's bought a freedom.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, but it's not like the freedom, like more shit. It's the freedom, like, I can be and deal with who I want. And I feel the same way.
Well, I think people who listen, and I'm not against, like, if you want to go buy yourself a Range Rover and a $3 million
But that makes
house,
you happy if that's your passion.
that's cool. But to me, like, lifestyle is everything. Like, that's what it is. And so to buy a lifestyle where I can always have time to exercise.
Yeah.
I can take time to do things like this and give back to people. That to me is worth more than other things. Now, I'll get all the other stuff anyway. It doesn't fucking matter. I'm not in a rush to do it. Where I would never want to, I guess I'll put it this way. If I would have done stuff different, bought a way more expensive house or bought a bunch of fancy cars or a boat or whatever, I wouldn't be able to buy the building that my gym is in now. And so that investment, which eventually in Scottsdale is going to be worth millions of dollars, I would have had a shitty boat. And so it's hard to see yourself, when you're 28, what is it going to look like at 40 or 45 or 50? But I always operated from the standpoint of, well, I'm going to get older. I'm probably going to be more tired at some point and more fed up with bullshit. So let's make life a little bit easier on the back end.
Yeah, that's a great analysis. And when you're right, when you're 20, you don't see 40. It's like, it's light years away. And like, here I am, 48, and you're closing in on 40. It's like, holy shit.
And you think when you're younger, oh man, those dudes are so old or whatever it is. And then
these guys are dead.
Like 100 years ago, maybe. But now it's like, if you're 45, dude, you probably have another whole 45 years to live on the earth.
Yeah.
So you're just doing things that your future self's going to thank you for.
Totally makes sense. As other business people are listening, and not from the realm of like, I work out, this is what I do for a living, but from the realm of the importance of as people listen, the importance of keeping a physically active body through mobility and through eating correctly, and how all that can affect somebody even sitting at a desk and feeling better and being cognizant. I mean, that's a lot of everything of what you train, but how is it personally for you?
Like, why do I do it?
Well, like, I know why you do it, but I guess, like, could you imagine, like, if you didn't do the things that you portrayed out there that you taught people, like how feeling like a bag of shit would be no good for you to even run your business?
I couldn't do all the things I do. There's no way I could do it. It'd be impossible. I basically, if you want to strip it down, I essentially run 2 full-time businesses with a staff of about 5 people. One of them, like my wife, helping me do some of the bullshit. So I wouldn't have the energy for sure. And the passion wouldn't be the same. And the way that I present stuff and create it and think about it would be completely different. Like just like you, like I'm an operator. Like I'm a practitioner. I don't just talk about fitness. I actually do it. I don't talk about how to do a podcast. I actually do the shit.
Yeah.
And there's a huge difference there. Like when you're actually out and presenting it, and you can only fake it for so long.
Right.
That's where at some point it would either show up physically for me or the energy would dissipate.
And that's the thing that really I'm talking about. It's like the energy. You have it. You're always there. You're always doing stuff. You're on cue. You know, you get your, I mean, there's so many people, I assume, out there that run their businesses, trainers or not, that don't get their sleep. They still, you know, maybe party a little too much, but they're able to hold their physique. They, you know what I'm saying? They're not 100% into living the entrepreneurial life like how I see you are.
And again, like if someone does it like differently and you're happy and it works, that's cool. But there's just there's no way you have to give up certain things if you want to be at like your optimal level, and especially like in terms of this and what we do. And I don't just mean like my training, it's the people I work with always get the most energy from me. Like I work with all the people today before I do my own workout. They're getting the best of me. Now, if I stay out super late, you know, drinking booze, eating shit, I'm going to be hungover, dehydrated. I'm going to feel shitty, and that's going to show. People can tell. Yeah. Like when someone talks to you about insurance versus like, you know, Roger, the insurance agent, you know,
or Rick.
Yeah, that Rick, like he sucks. You know, he just does because it's so bland and it's so boring. And not that you're making the content like any sexier than it really is, but it's just like you have a vested interest and you give a shit.
See energy behind it.
Yeah, and if you were out like being like a normal person, and there's not a knock against anybody, but normal people eat like shit and drink like shit. Right. You can tell, dude. Yeah. There's a certain level, and I'm not judging anyone. There's a certain level of respect of people who like take care of themselves. You can see it. Like there's this mutual respect from people. Like if I'm walking in, there's some dude like he's 65 and he's fit. I'm like, respect, bro. Yeah. Like you give a shit, right? And you're doing something different. And I promise you that guy operates at a different level. It's not taking away from his life. Right. It's giving to it.
Right. For sure. What's the importance of when you're married, having your spouse either, you know, involved or understanding about, you know, what it is that you do as a business owner?
You can't do it without it. Yeah. It's an impossible. Like for what we do, like the best people that like my close fitness friends, like, and I'll say names here nobody knows, but if I go, and you know this, from BJ to Alexia to Hannah to Nikki, every single one of those, their spouses is either working like in the business or is the number one fan and helps with all the shit. Yeah. And because you're signing up that person for a life that normal people don't live. Like Kim is with you, and maybe she understood this before, maybe she does now for sure. She's married into something that she can't really get out of unless you fucking hang it up, which is probably not going to happen like anytime soon. And the same thing for my wife. So it's either like they can fight it or just kind of submit to it, but they have to be there, like, because there's no way, especially when you first start out or things suck and it just doesn't go right. Like they're your support system and they're going to help you, and they're the only person really in your corner. Like I can ask you questions and you can ask me questions, but you're on your own entrepreneur island, as am I. Right. And so we can help each other. I go, but it's different. And that's your one go-to person. So if they're not supportive, I don't see how it could ever work, because even if it got to the point where it made money and they wanted to jump on board, you would probably have this like resentment towards them because they didn't support you when you were eating shit. Yeah, yeah. And my wife and I talk about that a lot. Like the other day we were joking. I go, what if I was, and this is terrible to say, I'm like, what if I was still doing this, right? And like I was working 100 hours a week, which some weeks I still do. And I go, what if I was making like 80 grand a year, but still working 100 hours a week, which for me would be fine. Like, I don't give a shit. She'd be like, you'd have to quit and get a fucking real job, you know? And I don't mean that because of like the money thing, I think, but just because of like the time, right? Because I'm taking away so much of our free time together and it's not monetarily paying off. Right. Well, okay. So segue that into how do you take time away, and are you able to relax when you do take that time away? Because I know you're always working. Like you're going to be checking stuff and looking at stuff, but you know, you have this block of time. You and Heather go on trips. You go hiking. You go canoeing. Happy anniversary, by the way. Oh, thank you. Yeah, 10 years, right? I've been married 8, but I've been together 15. Oh, okay. Wow. So it's a long time. Yeah, it's a lifetime, man. Feels like it. Yeah. So how do you relax when you're off? Turn the mind off. You know, again, my process is different than probably other people's. I like to do something every day. Yeah. Just because I don't like to let things kind of stack up between emails and DMs and app stuff or whatever it may be. And honestly, there's always a problem. Anybody who runs a business, like there's always bullshit. I like to, just like at my house, if we have an argument, I like to get rid of it like instantly. I just don't let shit fester.
Totally.
But when I'm somewhere, I'm there. So like yesterday, for example, was my anniversary, and we went to Lake Pleasant. We go paddleboarding. I leave my phone in the truck. I lock it. It's not there. I don't see it. No, she wants to bring hers because she wants to take a cute photo for Instagram, which is totally fine.
Right.
But I don't give a shit, because for those like 3 hours, that's where I'm at.
That's where you're going to be.
Yeah, and if I like watch, like, let's say UFC with my friends or football or something, I might screenshot something that I think is fun. But for the most part, my phone is over on the counter, and I'm just there with my friends doing what I do. So you can never let it go.
Yeah.
It's something like, if you really give a shit about it and you started it and built it from like nothing, or like came into it like a decade before, you're going to care about it like it's a person.
Yeah, it's part of you.
And that's why I tell people, I'm like, it's hard because no one's going to give a shit about your stuff as much as you do.
Right.
Ever. Now,
Right.
your partner will be close.
Yeah.
But it's always going to, it's not like a normal job where it's like, okay, I'm done at 5. No.
No, you're never done.
That'll never happen.
Right. What are some habits of yours that you like, non-negotiables that you do every day? Obviously workout, but like, I mean, you fast till dinner, obviously. Do you have to get 8 hours of sleep? Have to take your dog on a walk? Like, what are some things that you have to do?
I get up the same time every day,
Okay.
no matter what, just before 4 o'clock in the morning, and I do it every day. At this point, it's not even, I know it sounds crazy for people who listen, but it's just naturally what happens now, because it's been so many years. And I feel I can get so much more stuff done before anybody else is up. And honestly, it's like the only time where nobody talks to me.
Yeah.
Which is great. And honestly, like even my commute to work, which is like 13, 14 minutes, I don't put any music on, I put nothing on, and I just go, and it's just quiet. Because the minute I get to the gym, it's like music and people, and it's great, but I don't get a lot of like quiet time.
Yeah.
So I'll always do that. And again, the normal stuff, like I always kiss my wife before I go to sleep, like we always say I love you, like these really basic things. Cool. I'll always do mobility. I probably always watch The Office.
Yeah.
But I have my own routines of where, okay, if 7 p.m. is the cutoff. My phone's done. I don't sleep with my phone in the bedroom. I put it in the bathroom, and that's where it is. I never check it in bed. I don't look at it. I don't give a shit about it, just because there comes a point where it's too much. So there's always little things. And it might not be every day, but there's certain days of the week where my schedule is slightly different. So like I can walk my dog. I can go play basketball with myself. I steal these moments, what I call like normal people moments.
Yeah.
Because I don't have that many.
Right. That's cool. God, it's so funny. I'm built the same way in regards to that. That's perfect. Okay, well, I've got a few rapid fire questions for you, if that's cool.
Yeah.
You ready? Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I just like watch you laugh every time I hit the button.
It's great. Like, did they program those in for you?
My son did, yeah. Or actually, I think that they did. Which one did we not hear yet? Oh, this one. Huh?
So like it doesn't come like that though.
Yeah, it comes like that.
But not with those buttons. With those buttons, but not with those sounds.
Yeah, I think with the sounds. I don't know.
Shit.
I'll have to ask Matthew.
Where'd you get? I need to get this.
I'll get you the link to it. It's pretty badass, dude.
But I got a feeling I'm going to fuck around too much.
Yeah, you might. That's
awesome.
all right. Add some stuff. All right, here we go. Would you rather be answering DMs or talking to your accountant?
Oh, DMs, 100%, dude.
Yeah.
My accountant is the worst. Shout out to Chris. Chris, I know my accountant's name's Chris.
Yeah.
I know Chris don't listen to this because Chris doesn't even know how podcasts fucking work. Because he'd be
boy.
like, "What? Why is Athletic Greens paying you all this money?" And I'm
Right.
like, "Well, I talk about he knows what a podcast is.
Yeah.
But he's a nice guy, but he's an accountant. He's just like they're so just fucking bland."
Actually, that was another question I want to ask you before we finish these rapid fires was how did you come about vetting products that you're passionate about and that you love? I know some approached you. Have you ever approached any? And like, it's almost like when you take clients on, it's got to be something that matches your personality. And this is all stuff that you use, right?
Yeah. So probably the one big benefit I ever had was I worked with like a handful of supplement companies over the years, and like I'm not just a normal meathead. I mean, I am, but like I'll like listen more than I talk, so I get to learn a lot of shit just like being in rooms. And I work with this company, Olympian Labs, and I got to sit in what they call like a buyer's meeting, like at Vitamin Shop headquarters, and listen to like this guy Marvin at the time, who's like the buyer for North America, and they're talking through like how supplements work, and like how long the shelf life is, product placement, and things, and you start to learn like, oh, all these things are not the same, and some of these companies are full of shit. And so I got a real kind of behind the scenes look. In the companies that we work with, we've met everybody personally.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just going to throw names out there. Like we work with this company called J Lab. Well, Jay is the registered dietitian who started it, and we've known him for like 12 years. And the same thing with like Athletic Greens, the same thing with Beam, with Matt and Kevin and Chris. Like we've met those guys.
Yeah.
And so it's all stuff that we like. Obviously, we make money off these things.
Right.
But we use them and we like them. And there's other people, like I'm happy to talk about stuff that, even if they don't pay us, if we like them, but I have to believe in what it is. And I know that sounds, well, they're paying you. Yeah, they are. Do you know how much money we would make if we sold bullshit?
Yeah.
We would be, dude, I would be so fucking rich, dude. If I just sucked horse shit all day, like it would just flow in easily, because the things that sell good, like if you notice, like you ever see my stuff, like we don't sell fat burners.
Right.
Do you know how easy it is to sell that shit?
Yeah, and the markup on all that shit.
It's nothing.
It's garbage.
Like we're talking about, hey, take a greens product with a probiotic in it. People are like, what the fuck is a probiotic? But
Yeah.
that thing can actually help you.
You're trying to get people healthy.
It's less sexier. We go as far as like, we'll mail it to your front door.
Yeah.
That's a lunatic shit. I go, but I believe in it, and I think it's something that would benefit you. Is it sexy? No. Is it going to make you look like Rambo in 2 seconds? No.
Yeah.
I go, but I know people eat like shit, so at least it helps them kind of cover the gap. So we only work with people that we know and stuff that we believe in, and that they have the same values as we do. Like
Yeah.
they started it like, hey, not just to make the company and like, sell it to some other, subsidiary. Like they want to they're in it for life.
Yeah, like BJ short shorts.
Because I mean, would I ever really wear them? No. I mean, his pants I got on for sure.
There you go.
So, yeah.
All right. This is a difficult one. Tupac or Rat?
Oh, bro, come on. It's Tupac all day. I probably know, I know one Rat song, Round and Round.
Yeah.
I probably know a couple other names, but
You probably Wanted Man or, yeah, probably. Cold beers, cheeseburgers, or tequila and tacos?
I don't think, have I ever been to Tequila and Tacos?
No, I'm just talking, not the restaurant.
Oh, the
cold beer,
restaurant? Like the
cheeseburger. Would you
restaurants?
rather have cold beers and cheeseburgers, or would you rather have tequila and tacos?
Beer and cheeseburgers for sure.
Okay.
I'm from the Midwest, dude.
Yeah, that's true. Would you rather go to an NFL game or watch it on TV?
It depends on where the seats are and who is playing and what's the parking situation.
That makes sense. Yeah.
If it's front row, like Vikings, and I got good parking, I can do it. If it's like, but I don't want to go to like Green Bay.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, so I got a client, he actually has Green Bay season tickets still, and he lives here.
Yeah.
And he's going to the game this weekend. They play the Bears. And he goes, do you want my Vikings Packers tickets at Lambeau? And I'm like, fuck, dude, sounds awesome. When is it? He's like, January 1st. I'm like, no, bro.
Now I'm
You
good.
can keep 'em. I don't want to do that shit.
That's funny because it's another one of my questions here. Minnesota in the winter or Arizona in the summer?
Dude, in the summer here all day.
Absolutely.
All day.
What type of Metcon do you hate the most?
If it's me, like personally,
You personally, yeah.
I like the body weight shit.
Body weight stuff.
If it's just that, and the more running, the less I like it. Just because I'm bigger and I need more oxygen.
Yeah.
I don't like burpees. I don't like the long running. I hate all that shit.
Yeah.
I'd rather do heavy shit than the high volume stuff for sure.
Right.
Like, I don't want to do 100 thrusters. Like that shit sucks.
But you'd rather carry like whatever 80-pound dumbbells over your head and walk with them than
Yeah, like I would rather do split squats like with 100-pound dumbbells in each hand for like sets of 10 than do 100 body weight reps, just because it's like it burns, man. It just sucks.
So that was one of my questions: split squats or assault bike?
Depends on like how long and like in the volume.
There's always some.
I hate them. I hate them both, man. I hate if it's the assault bike, like 1 minute your max, it's the worst thing you can do in a minute. There's nothing worse, dude. Anybody who's listening, like, go put an assault bike and do 1 minute as hard as you possibly can, max calories. You'll be sick for at least
horrible.
At least a day.
Yeah, and then in Metcon you have to go do like 3 other exercises for 3 rounds. It's like
It's bad. Yeah, I'd rather anything that's lifting focused. I'd rather do than probably the metabolic stuff.
yeah, the worst split squats for me every year is on the Thanksgiving when we do that 1,000.
That's bad.
Yeah, because like on the 10th time you're falling apart.
So you're doing 100
Yeah.
plus 100 normal squats
Right.
plus 100 box jumps.
Box jumps are the worst. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Okay, last one then. The Office or John Wick?
I mean, I have to see The Office just because it's 9 seasons. But I watch them both a lot.
Yeah.
I watch The Office more because Heather doesn't complain. If I'm like in bed, yeah, it's true. Because if I'm in bed and like John Wick's on, she's like, why are so many people getting shot right now? It's fucking John Wick, dude. That's what he does.
It's the best.
Yeah.
But let's just see if are there any that I didn't use? Did I use that one?
No, that's good too.
Right? I think I used that
These
one.
are tight, bro.
These are all good. Jeremy's fascinated with my buttons. All right, awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. We got to do this again. What are your social links? Where can people find you besides, obviously jeremyscottfitness.com?
Yeah, it's not real creative. Everything is Jeremy Scott Fitness. So if you guys have Instagram, Jeremy Scott Fitness, Facebook, Jeremy Scott Fitness, LinkedIn, if you guys do this TikTok crap, we're on there too. We have a Jeremy Scott Fitness podcast. Our email is Jeremy Scott Fitness. Everything
All the
is
good stuff. All right.
basically us.
Well, I appreciate you coming on and being a friend and doing this, and everybody for thank you for listening. Please subscribe, follow, share this with people. Follow Jeremy if you're looking for a trainer, if you're looking to do it from a distance or in person. Hit him up. He checks his DMs obviously, and then I'm gonna let Jeremy segue us out with the. What is it? Leave a 5-star. What do you usually do at the end of your podcast?
Oh, like how we say the end of
how you
ours.
say it, yeah.
Well, we just thank them, obviously, for listening. It's like, again, if you guys are listening on Apple Podcasts, drop it a 5-star, leave a comment. Don't be a lazy ass. And if you guys have Spotify, drop it a 5-star on there, too. We'd appreciate it. And until next time, eat well, train hard, be nice to people. And please, you guys, keep doing shit you love with people you enjoy because your life is too short not to. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Fuck yeah.